Okay.
Okay.
Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar
What
Square.
year is this?
This is April of 1954 with my four American friends in the U.S. Army, and we were on furlough. And right near Trafalgar Square is the park, Hyde Park, where the soapbox people get around and people gather. And that's where we met this English gentleman walking his dog, and he demanded that the four of us get in his little bitty 2x4 car and go home to have some tea and crumpets with him and his wife. He demanded that we go with him, and obviously somebody befriended him during the war, and he was just returning the favor because that was 1954. That was 9 years after the war was over.
And you went to his apartment, I guess.
We went to his apartment, met his wife, and they were big fans of what the music did I say?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong, big fans. I thought, wow, I never was a fan of Louis Armstrong, but they had it, all kinds of records, and we sat there and ate his tea and crumpets for about an hour and a half, and then he let us go. Whatever.
Do you remember who your buddies were?
Oh, sure. It was Dominic Mangione from East Coast. Vic Vita was in Chicago. And Norman Nagorski is my friend we talked about from Hamtramck, Michigan, where Tara knows where that is.
Yeah.
And Donato De Paolo was another little friend of ours who was just came to America a couple of years before he got inducted into the Army. And when we went back to Italy, he was with us on this trip. But he says, us Italians are taking all you Americans to terrible things. And he says, why? Because he went to the store because he had his civilian clothes. And he's telling them in Italian what he wanted to buy. And he bought for us for 1/10 of what we could. We would have paid something. And I don't remember what it was, but that was Donato De Paolo. I remember this thing.
Where did he live?
I don't know where he lived in America, but I got a whole list of guys that I remember a guy from Pontchartrain, Louisiana. A bunch of
Cajun guy, right?
Cajun guy, and a bunch of we had a bunch of at that time not Puerto Ricans. Yeah, I guess they were Puerto Ricans. Did the bunny hop around the cannons. Every day we dig that cannon in, and pretty soon the only thing you could see out of the hole was the muzzle. Every day we dig that cannon deeper in the ground, and then after 5 days we hook it up and drag it through the countryside and blow up some more of the German countryside. So
this leave in Trafalgar Square, you were in Germany. You took leave and went to London.
Right. that was our. At that time, you were allowed 30 days every month of leave time. Fully paid leave
30
time.
days a year.
30 days a year at that time. So somewhere in the year and a half that I was in Europe, we finally got to London, Rome, and Paris, Naples. We made all of those by train and by plane.
And Naples is where Donato was buying things at the store for you.
Donato, yes. And he knows, what a good trick. But of course, he was an Italian. They couldn't tell he wasn't. He was close enough to home to get some civilian clothes, but the rest of us had to have our military clothes on, so they knew who we were from a mile away.
So you went to Naples, close. You never went to Sicily.
Never went to Sicily. Never got that far. We had to go back home to Germany.
And I guess you were traveling by train.
Traveling by train, and of course it was with my three buddies. I wasn't running the show. We were just picking out places out of the clear blue sky.
And I guess, well, you didn't travel for free as a GI. You had to buy tickets.
Buy $1 parachute, and if you didn't use it, you could get your money back.
Well, that was for the MATS flights. But
yeah, that was the MATS flights. Military
on the train and
military. Well, the train we had to pay. Yeah, I don't remember what we paid.
So you went from Germany to Naples on a train.
From München.
Ah.
We went overnight, and Bolzano is the first town you get to when you're in Italy after you go through the Alps.
Right.
Bolzano, and that's where they are selling you food on the right through the train window.
Yeah.
Famous city, Bolzano. But then we made it to Rome overnight, and stayed in a nice place.
Oh yeah, so you guys all crammed into one little apartment, right?
Well, all four of us crammed into one little place. Yes. And the same thing happened. People meet us at the train station and direct us to a place to stay. And I hate to say it, but my friend Vic Vita even hooked up with a female that he should not have hooked up with. But that's okay.
You're going to write a book now?
Is what?
You're going to
He's
write a
not
book?
telling other stories.
You should write a book.
That's going to be.
Yeah.
You can leave that page out.
Before he forgets it.
No, I didn't forget it. I'll never forget it.
He's going to tell about his girlfriend. Hello.
I had a couple, but they weren't insignificant. I tell Tony about my girlfriend, Jen.